Hi, and welcome. My name is Stephanie, and I would love to share with you a little bit about myself and my grief journey before you begin watching this video. Early 2009, my brother suddenly and unexpectedly passed away. I still don't know the cause of his death. He was in Buenos Aires for work when I received the call that he had died. Within an instant, I was projected into a new reality where I found myself wrought with emotions of utter despair, pain, and hopelessness. It didn't take long for me to find myself at a crossroad. I seriously contemplated suicide for months on end as a way to ease the pain and the devastation. This led me to a desperate search for answers and ways to cure the way I was feeling. I tried many different modalities. Although what I'd learned made sense, I still didn't feel better. Just when I was about to give up, I experienced a conversation with someone who called himself a coach. I agreed to initial conversation with him, and my world began to open to new possibilities. This is when I began to coach with Walker, who is still my coach. He didn't speak about death in the same way. Experiencing being coached and learning how to coach has allowed me to see this tragedy that I thought would end my life and kill my dreams, how it became the key to the journey of my dreams coming true. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoy my interview with Walker.
Many times I'm always like, every time I'm on a call with you, I'm crying. I feel like I should have all my SHIT together by now. And how we've discussed that, who does really have everything together? And I know for me, it was so helpful when you would use your own experiences and that I could relate to. And there was sort of a sense of relief for me that, it's not just me, that, you go through the same things and you're also navigating things. So would you like to discuss that a little bit more just so people can understand that?
Yeah, excuse me. I think sometimes the word coach or even author or speaker or expert, I think we tend to project onto those people a little bit that they're not human, that they're supposed to have it more together, whatever that means. Yeah. I don't think that's true. I don't have it together. I'm doing my best to navigate life and find ease. That's about it. Yeah. I have my own challenges for sure. In a coaching relationship, what I care about most is, can I serve them? Can they grow from this relationship? Not, I have it together, so you should be more like me. My gosh, I don't want you to be like me. So I try to be as vulnerable as possible with my clients, as long as it serves them. Having our SHIT together, there's no such thing. That's some notion. Yeah. Like if you look on Facebook, you're going to see a lot of people with their shit together. It's just not true. I've coached them, and I see some of those people presenting themselves a certain way, and it's not exactly true. Yeah. Or people that maybe I haven't coached, but I know them personally, and the way they put themselves out there is, I have it all together. Follow me. I will teach you. I will lead you. Maybe they'd be a good leader. I don't know. Yeah. But having it together, I don't know what that means. So I'd rather look at it as, I don't know, can I have an impact on people? Can you have an impact on people in a good way? And that's about it. Like, to even view it from a standpoint of people having their shit together or not is futile, because it's just not true. Like, there is no such thing from where I stand. But maybe I don't have it together, and therefore I don't see other people that have it together. I don't know. But I just care about, can I serve this person and help them live a better life? That's just what I'm concentrated on. And that seems to, I like life that way. So I'm just going to keep living it that way. for now.
I know something else that I've also discussed with you, because that was my experience, and, something that I really, kind of left me frustrated and despondent was, sometimes there can be these things where it's like, follow these 3 steps and you'll be successful. And I would follow them to the T, and I'd be diligent and, do exactly what I, was suggested, but yet I wasn't getting what I wanted or how I wanted my life to be.
Yeah.
And, I know for myself that's really frustrating, because you're doing all these things, but you're still not getting where you want to be. And I know that you could see that. And, could you talk a little bit more about that concept of, we've discussed this before, trying those things and still not getting where you want to be?
Yeah. So I love the 3 steps, just to put it out there. Like, I read Napoleon Hill's Principles of Success first, the unabridged. Then I read Think and Grow Rich. And then I read a book called What Would Napoleon Hill Do? Yeah. And what I got from all that is, if I followed those exercises, great stuff would happen. And I did every single thing he said to do. And that brought me to a certain place. Now, if I wanted to project onto everyone that if you just follow what Napoleon Hill says, you will be successful, I think that's doing a disservice to people, because it works if you're like me, or if you're like Napoleon Hill was, or if you're like Carnegie, or if you, right? But I'll just say personally, I think I'm pretty obsessive. So I get a goal in my head. I can't think of anything else. Yeah. And if you look at Napoleon Hill's life, he spent 20 years compiling this to get all this research. And I mean, he was monomaniacal when it came to goals. And so it made complete sense to me. So of course, like, I think my revenue-wise, I think I doubled every year for years, just following his stuff. But then why doesn't it work for everyone? Yeah. Because not everyone is obsessed like that. And you'll hear, say this affirmation and this affirmation, and it'll work. It works for who it works for, but it's not the affirmation. That's what I think, from how I understand it, what makes sense to me is it's not actually the affirmation that does the thing. Having an affirmation is a concept. Yeah. Right. So it's not the affirmation that does the thing. It's, are you willing to use the affirmation? And in using the affirmation, you must be a person that is willing to use an affirmation to get this next thing. So just in using it starts a movement of energy forward, is one way to explain it. So you're going to get something out. Now, there are people that do a lot of stuff in a context of hopelessness. So basically, one way to put it is, hope can't thrive in a hopeless context. So a rose can't grow in the desert. I don't think. Can it? Because it can, that analogy. I don't think so. So, no matter what, you're not going to get a rose, because the desert doesn't have the conditions for a rose to thrive. Yeah. So if you have someone that comes to life who is hopeless, they view life from a hopeless place, you can get them to say any affirmation you want, and it's coming from a place of hopelessness. So it's not going to work. They're trying to change their lives, but they're coming from a place of hopelessness. It's the same when I started working with you. You were coming from a place of, this is the truth. I have this huge tragedy. I am suffering. And therefore, and I was just like, I think you're not the one who died.
Yeah. To be fair.
To be fair, I mean, he suffered. I don't mean to make light of that, but at some point that had to, I mean, that was risky for me to say to you.
Yeah.
Right. It was really risky. And for everyone listening, I just said, well, how long are you going to play the victim? He's the one who died. You're not the victim here. And it was risky to say it. I think you were ready, and you actually kind of made me say it, right? It came out of something that you needed to hear at that point. But yeah, so affirmation, things like that. If you're like the person teaching the concept that worked for him or her, then it probably great. You'll probably have some success like them. I don't know what their personal lives are like, but whatever, you might have some business success, or you might make some money. There's if all the seminars and all these books worked, you would have a lot more successful people out there. So there's a disconnect. They're trying to fix something, and nothing can be fixed like that. There has to be a transformation, a transforming of, and the only way to do that, and from what I know at least, is you have to see from somewhere else, because you only see possibility from where you are.
Yeah.
So what's possible, even what tools are there for you to even use are limited by the context you're in and what you can see being right here. We can't see out of that without some sort of intervention. And that's what I think a good coach does, is they intervene. They don't teach. Look, if I recognize in you that you need 3 steps to follow that will put you in position, some people need the to-do. It's not the actual, not actually the to-do. It's you need a to-do to put you into action. Great. Then I'm going to say that then. But it's not an end-all to be-all formula. And I know that I've been pushed to give people the 3 steps to success and all that stuff. And I'm just like, well, I don't know who your listeners are. Are they exactly like me? Are they completely obsessed with whatever goal they have in their head, and they'll stop at nothing? Well, not plunder, but I mean, it wouldn't matter if it took me 25 years. I don't think I could let go of certain goals. That's also a challenge in life for me. So it doesn't, that's being vulnerable, right? Like that, which works for actors a lot of the time. Great actors have a rough time out there in the real world because their access to their emotions is so potent. I don't know if that's the word, but their emotions are so available. Yeah. And they're really great when they have to, when those emotions have to be tapped into. But living out there in the world that open it's tough. It's tough. So the gifts are often also the challenges too. Hopefully that answers.
Does this also tie a little bit into what we've discussed before, where gravity would still be gravity even without that word, and how often the words are just a way to explain something, but we can get caught up in those words, and that we can take them for the truth and just really focus on that and not really look a bit broader.
So I think it's important to recognize that there are a couple of ways to look at language. One is language to describe something, and another is language to actually put into motion and create something. Yeah. Oftentimes when we find ourselves in trouble, we're trying to put concepts. We're trying to describe something that's happening. So for instance, when I say the word bottle, like a water bottle doesn't pop out of my mouth just because I said water bottle. It's describing this thing that we put water in. Yeah. If I say, I promise, that actually can create something. Yeah. I promise to call you tomorrow. That actually creates a call. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I'm such a dork, but I love that. I think that's one of the coolest things ever. That words can create your life, or they can describe it.
Yeah.
Obviously there's use for both, but let's not confuse them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of sessions, coaching sessions, or maybe therapy sessions, people just want to describe the problems or describe what they're going through, and it gets at nothing.
Yeah.
We want to know why so badly. We want to know what caused it so badly. I'm not saying there's not some benefit in that, but I think from at least my experience to recognize that at some point we got to start here now and stop describing what's happening in here and start using language to create out here. I mean, it's a business model for people. You get people talking about their problems. I mean, they'll show up all the time. I couldn't, that's not, I don't want that. So language used to create is the way to go.
I was laughing before because we both know I drove you nuts with constantly wanting to know why on everything.
Everyone, like everyone wants to know. I mean, it's funny now. I was the same. I still am. The instinct is to go, yeah, but why? Oh wait, they're going to try and explain it, but that's not the thing.
Yeah,
it's sort of like actors. They go in for an audition, and they don't get the role. And they were called back and everything, and they were really great. They felt great about the audition, and they don't get it. They cannot let go of it. They want to know why they didn't get that role so badly. What they're really asking for is like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
From what I know, they don't know. They don't know. They'll try to tell you. So they'll say, oh, we're looking for a blonde and you're brunette.
Yeah.
That's not. Like, they don't know why. Who knows why? It's a hunch. It's a feeling. Oh, we think they're great. Okay, great. That's it. And we want to know why versus, I think it has a lot to do with our identity and being enough, right? Pleasing the adults in front of us. We often put other people in the parental role. We have to please them. And if we didn't, we're not good enough kind of thing. At some point to get really just clear that we're adults.
Yeah.
Is important. I remember having that discovery at one point. Just going, wait a second. I'm older than that person. Why am I treating them as if they know they're the end all to be all? They know everything. I'm like, people are willing to take something that someone says and shift their whole worlds because that person behind the desk says this is the way it is, rather than, okay, that's information coming from them and they're trying to get at the thing as well. So, yeah.
And you were saying before that, sometimes, giving certain clients those 3 steps is just to help put them in action. And I know with my personality, I'm very much a doer. And many times you had to not buy into that.
I mean, I had to do stuff. But it wasn't exactly maybe what you would have wanted to do.
Yeah.
But putting you in action, the certain action that I suggested allowed you to be in the inquiry versus the answer. In doing the action, which one of them was writing. I mean, look at what came out of your writing. Just a lot of discoveries. Honestly, part of you writing was getting what was in here out here. And it becomes something to look at out there. Ken Wilber would say that as well. So it becomes something to look at and talk about versus who you are. And in your writing, I think that served a couple of big breakthroughs. One big one, you had held back from telling me something about your life that you'd been holding on to for a while. No big deal. But it was to you because it was in here. It was the secret. We all have these like secrets that we think are such a big deal. And it's like, that's not a big deal. I mean, okay. You're one of the past 15 people I talked to today that had the same secret, but okay,
And you were also like, I knew anyway. So to me, I was like building it up, and then you were like, I knew anyway. Because
it's not. This is stuff that is pretty universal for people. Yeah. It's just that we don't want to talk about it because we don't want to look bad. My gosh, right? The amount of time we spend, myself included, just not wanting to look bad. Holy cow. It's unreal. We don't want to look bad.
Quite tiresome to carry those secrets around and to always present ourselves as perfect and to not look bad to the world.
Yeah, it's so not true, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying tell everyone and their mother all your deep, dark secrets, but they're not.
Yeah.
But definitely your coach, someone who's on your team, Yeah.
Or like I found, just writing it down, just a space to be 100% honest and just get all of it out, and to, like we've spoken about, to stop the covering up, and that's another thing I want to talk about, because I think a lot of people don't realize that they're doing that, how we cover things up and how we put all this time and energy into covering it up.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, the time, the focus, the energy, trying to put yourself out there and hide the thing you're ashamed of is, the amount of energy that takes over years. I remember this will kind of give you a little taste of the amount of energy that it could take. So when I was in kindergarten, I prided myself on being a good student and a good person. So I would never want to hurt anyone. That's for sure. And one day we were having free time, I guess. We're sitting at our desks, but we're having free time. And this girl named Carrie Wright. Sorry, Carrie, I'm outing you right now. Carrie Wright decided in her high-pitched kindergarten voice to turn and face my left ear, and decided to scream as loud as she could and as high as she could. It was like the most piercing sound. It was so shocking to me that my instinct was I slapped her on the leg. And my teacher at the time, I won't give you her name, but I know it. My teacher at the time, she put me in the corner. She punished me. And I couldn't, first of all, I couldn't have controlled that. But she would not listen. You hit a girl. That was it. You hit a girl, you're in trouble. And I thought I was a bad person after that. I thought, oh my gosh, I got in trouble. I got put in the corner. And I didn't want to tell my parents. Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell my parents. I was so ashamed, so guilty. Every day I thought about that. Up through second grade, third grade, every Sunday for sure, we would go to church, and I'm sitting in the pew just dying inside because I got in trouble in kindergarten. I hit Carrie Wright. Oh my gosh, I'm such a bad person. Just like so stressful every day thinking about that.
Yeah.
Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I was going to explode after 3 years. So I remember going, Mom, it was one Sunday. I said, Mom, I have to tell you something. She said, what is it? I said, I got in trouble in kindergarten. I hit Carrie Wright, but it was because she screamed in my ear, and I didn't realize I was going to hit her. It just happened. And then I got in trouble. I got put in the corner. I'm really sorry. And she looked at me, shocked, dumbfounded. I said, "You've been carrying this around for 3 years?" I remember her saying, "Don," calling my dad, "your son has been carrying this around for 3 years." And he goes, "Oh, but don't hit girls, but yeah, don't carry that stuff around. Just tell us and it'll be over." And I remember my shoulders just going, oh. And I started jumping and running. I didn't stop for another year of jumping and running because I was free.
Yeah.
And the sheer guilt and shame of just keeping that inside. I had no perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's not hold that in. Get it out to somebody or get it out on paper.
Well, I think that was probably my biggest transformation in my coaching with you, is that, a lot of things that transpired in my younger years and the stories I'd created from that, and just how I'd carried that with me. And I mean, when I met you, I was 33, and, I'm just thankful that I, had the opportunity to have the freedom and letting go of those things. But, how many people go through life carrying those things with them, and the stories that we make up of those kind of times in our life.
Yeah. And we think it's the truth when really we made a decision when we were younger about a thing that we only had so many tools to understand. And now we're adults. And I think we can revisit and say, if I were back there now, would I make up the same, would it mean the same thing now? Or could I have handled that differently? Would I have been able to stick up for myself back then? If I went back now?
Yeah.
Is it that I'm just weak? Or if I went back now and that person picked on me, would I handle it differently? Would I still run away and decide that I'm weak? Would I still run away, or would I get out of it differently?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you have options.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope you gained many insights from it. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel and comment below. Share anything that you have gained from watching this video, and please feel free to share it with anyone you think may benefit. Connect with me on my Facebook or Twitter accounts so that you can be up to date with my latest blogs, newsletters, and my upcoming book, which will be published January 2017. I look forward to hearing from you soon.